Gina, and I'm here today in my kitchen, and we're making my Nonna's famous rice balls. And these originated from Sicily in Italy, the lower part, the little boot part of Italy. And the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe today are mozzarella cheese, and you just grate it here, Parmesan cheese, just a little bit to go in the rice, of the rice ball. You can use ground beef, or I actually like to use extra lean ground chicken, just so it's a little more low fat and so forth. Then there's sticky rice, and it's a special kind of rice, so just make sure it says sticky rice on the pack. Onions to use when cooking the ground beef or ground chicken. Garlic, again, to use when cooking. You'll need vegetable oil and a deep fryer to actually cook the vegetable, the veggie balls, or once they're done. Then again, you'll measure the rice and just make sure that you read on the package how much water you'll need and in terms of how much rice you're going to make. Now we're going to make a lot today, so I'm going to use 2 bags of sticky rice, which will work out to about 8 cups of rice. And it works out that you'll need 14 cups of water for that 8 cups of rice. Okay, so let's get started. This is homemade sauce actually here, just cooking. It's been cooking, I guess, for about 2.5 hours now. But you can use store-bought sauce, that's fine as well. In here are the green peas, and we'll just turn that on right now so that they can cook. And we can start cooking the ground beef now. We're putting the onions here into the pan, and a little bit of garlic. Now you don't need a lot. I like garlic. You don't even need to put any at all, but I kind of like it. And we'll fry this a bit on the stove, and then we'll add in our ground chicken. Okay, so now that our onions are looking pretty nice there, we're gonna add our ground chicken. So I'm just gonna pop it in here, just right from in here, and we'll just break it up. Oh, and I had a little bit of oil in the pan to start. If you need more oil, you can add it. I try not to cook with a lot of oil. So we'll just let that cook. And I'm just rinsing the rice over here. That's pretty much done. Yeah. So a little history on these rice balls. My grandmother used to make these for us when we were kids. And we used to eat them all up. The whole family loves them. My brother, my dad, my cousins. And every time she used to make them, it was like a big event. Nonna made the rice balls. These are going to be great. So before she passed away, she gave us the recipe, and while she was at home and sick and kind of just trying to recover, we made them for her and got her to try them to see if they met up to her standard, if they tasted like hers, because hers were the best. Everyone tried to make them, my mom, everyone, and they never seemed to taste the same. So we tried them out. And, you know, she gave us a couple tips, you know, too much sauce, too much cheese here, whatever. So over the years, we've perfected it. And I've made this a couple times now. And I think I almost have it close to the way she had them. So you're in for a treat, and it's going to be great. Hello, I'm back here again. And here is the ground chicken all cooked. And you can see it's a little brown. That's how you want it. You want to make sure it's fully cooked. You don't want anyone to get any salmonella poisoning or anything. I've also drained the peas, so we'll just leave them in here now so they can stay warm. We can cover them. So there's no water in there. And my rice here is simmering for the 17 minutes. It has about 2.5 minutes left. The sauce is pretty much done, so I'm just gonna turn it off here. And now we'll move over to our cutting board so I can show you the next step. Okay, so here's the breadcrumbs. Now this is the last ingredient that you'll need. I forgot to mention earlier. So I'm just going to pour them into a like a large dish here, because once we form the rice ball, we need to roll it in the breadcrumbs to coat it, and then that's how we deep fry. So really you're only deep frying just so that the breadcrumbs create like a layer to keep the ball intact. Now, this is the trick to these rice balls. You need to actually roll the ball of rice in your hand when it's hot, and that can be challenging. I know I've had like burnt fingers kind of, so you want to wait till it's a little bit cooler, the rice, but not that cool. Like, you don't want it to be so cool that it doesn't stick anymore. So we want to make sure that it's still warm So what I like to use is gloves. Now you can use any kind of gloves. You can use plastic, like surgical gloves. We don't have any left of those. We used to have some here. So I'm just going to use a new pair of rubber yellow gloves that you would use for you know, washing dishes and such. I just heard the timer go off over there, which means the rice should be ready. So we'll head over back here and we'll check on our rice. And it's looking good. So now, once the 17 minutes is done on the simmer, we can turn it off and just let it stand for 3 minutes. Because all the water's got absorbed into the rice and we just want to make sure that that's fully absorbed. So we'll just leave that there for 3 minutes covered, and we can get everything else set up to roll and then fry. You probably want to set your deep fryer on high now so that the oil is very hot. I'm going to pour a little bit more oil in here, and then in the rice here we're going to put some sauce. Now you want to be careful how much sauce you put in the rice because you don't want the rice to get too liquidy, otherwise it won't stick. And I just add about a couple spoonfuls. Now I would add a little to begin with, and then you can always add more as you go, just to make sure that it doesn't get too sticky. You're going to want to add some Parmesan cheese. Now this also is great because it helps keep the rice sticky, and it also adds a little bit of salt since we don't have any salt in our rice. So you just add as much as you like. Here, you know, I like cheese, so I'm going to add quite a bit. And to make the rice ball, you're going to want to take 1 scoop and a half actually, in your hand, and make a nice ball here. And just kind of go back and forth, and yeah. And then poke a hole in the ball and spread it out. So you can add the ingredients into our rice ball. So you're going to want to poke a hole in there. And then add our ingredients, as much of whatever you like most, you know, and you can be creative here and add whatever you like and how much of it you like. So there we go. It's probably easier, honestly, if you put the cheese in first, just because it's grated and you don't want it to get sticky on the outside. So there we go. There's our cheese in there. Okay, then to close up our ball, we're going to add just a little bit more rice on top here, and we're going to seal it. And to seal it, you just play with the rice in the form of a ball. Make sure you can close it up, nothing's going to fall out. It's okay if you've got a couple ingredients sticking on the outside, no big deal, it doesn't have to be perfect. And yeah, there's our ball. And the last step is to roll it in our breadcrumbs. So there we go, rolling it. Make sure it's nice and coated and all parts are covered. And there we go, done. So now you're going to hear a big tss as we release them into the hot oil. And there they go. Now they don't need to cook for that long in here. Remember, it's hot oil and you really only need to coat the outside. So we're just going to turn them here so they don't get all brown on only one side. So it'll take a little while, I would say maybe about 5 minutes or so, until they're like a little brown on the outside. So once they're done, they're about this color here, you'll just lift them out of the oil and then just put them onto a baking sheet with some paper towels so that the oil can drain. And you can also pat them with the paper towel. You can pat them a bit to get some of the oil out. So we're done here, and as you can see, this one here has sauce and it's all ready for someone else to join me soon. And here we go. So this is the veggie one, and all I can say now is wow, it turned out amazing. And let's see if I can get, ooh, nice and stringy, look at that. Whoa. Okay, it's just, whoa.